And we are live, guys. Welcome to yet another live stream from Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling, and today I want to talk about emotional stability. The title is, Are You in Control? This is at the core of the Men of High Value movement. It is critical to understand that if you are not in control of your emotions, if you have to continuously be dependent on the circumstantial state of your emotions, as for example, I don't feel like getting up this morning. Now you're being dependent on what your emotions are telling you. Your emotions are directing your thoughts instead of your thoughts directing your emotions. Your spirit, your mind, is not controlling your material you, basically your body. Okay, so Men of High Value movement is focused on you, your mind, controlling your body. If you don't control your body will control you. How does this relate to the Men of High Value movement? Well, think about it. If you want to become successful, it's basically millions of boring, mundane steps that you have to take, one small day at a time, one small step at a time, until you get exponential growth. Exponential growth comes from doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again until you know every single nuance about the subject, and your body and your mind do things automatically, so that you now are getting the exponential growth because everyone around you are not as skilled at this specific thing as you. That's how you get successful, and that's how you get rich. By keeping doing those small, simple, boring, mundane things every single day, that you know people need, you know solves people's problems, and is not just gaming with FIFA or computer games or anything like that that's a complete waste of your time. No, it's doing things that actually solves people's problems, and then causing the exponential growth by you being consistent and disciplined and self-sacrificing and doing what it takes in order to serve others and solve problems. So, in order to achieve this exponential growth, it's gonna be a bit boring and mundane. That's why it's critical that you choose something that you're passionate about, so that you'll actually go through with those boring and mundane steps, and it'll feel like fun. It'll feel like you are loving life because you know where it's gonna take you. Most of what you're gonna do in order to become successful will still be boring and mundane. Maybe not the actual action stuff, like it depends. If you're Richard Branson, for example, and he's done all those crazy stunts throughout his life in order to amass popularity and the media coverage, so that he becomes big through that. That's one way of becoming rich and also have excitement and adventure in your life. But you have to remember that way before that time came, that people were interested in him, or the media loved what he did, he had years of boring and mundane action consistently done over time until he got that exponential growth, and suddenly everyone was interested in what he was doing. Now he could massively double the excitement and 10 times it by being creative and doing different things. That was just an example. But coming back to doing those boring and mundane things, what do you have to do? What is the number one most important key ingredient for you achieving that exponential growth? It's emotional stability, emotional neutrality. You must cut out anything that messes up your emotions, or that makes you dependent on something because of your emotions. Oh, I feel really depressed right now, or I feel really nervous, or I don't know what I'm feeling right now, so I need a cigarette. Really? That's that's kind of sad. Okay? A cigarette is not going to help you in the long term, and you know that. Cigarettes are a double whammy because they mess up your finances, which you could have used for something completely different. You could have used it to invest in yourself, in your education, in stocks, in anything that appreciates. And that would have created exponential growth in the long term, but instead you're choosing to create exponential growth downward in the long term because we know that cigarettes will kill you. Second of all, what about alcohol? Well, I do so much work throughout the week, and at the end of the week I want to celebrate. Well, what are you celebrating? You haven't accomplished anything. Okay, it's ridiculous for you to celebrate with alcohol that takes away your choice, right? You want to get to the point where, like right now, you're choosing to be emotionally all over the place, when what you should have is completely emotions and an attitude independent of circumstances. If you're depressed and if your life is not as fantastic as you want it to be, why should you drown out your sorrows with alcohol? Find out ways that make you happy right now so that it will take you through that exponential curve in the long term, the positive exponential curve. So how do you do that? How do I basically find ways? I would start with my 100 reasons list. Why am I doing what I'm doing? What do I want to become? What do I want to have? What kind of life do I want to create for myself? And you create 100 reasons for what you want to achieve, for why you want to achieve it. That's a good way to start, because that, if you focus on that, and one of them should be to quit drinking and quit smoking, then you will be able to create that exponential growth curve. If your attitude is dependent on circumstances, and you're choosing to waste away your life with things that are not helping you in the long term, and wasting your money together with it, then you do not want to become successful. And that's just the fact. Yes, there's a lot of rich people who are enjoying a lot of alcohol, but I can tell you that the richest of the rich, the most successful people, the ones who actually have happiness, I can tell you that they do not drink very often, and they don't drink in order to get drunk. That is for sure. I don't smoke. I don't drink. And you know what you should stop as well? You should not watch porn. It's as simple as that. Well, what should I do to be happy? Start getting some good friends, okay? Good friends that will take you to an exponential curve upwards. And if you're not part of the high value system, the Men of High Value system, then I would suggest that you participate in it, because that will focus on you having emotional stability and neutrality, and having that attitude that's independent of circumstances, so you can do the boring, mundane steps towards success happily and excitedly, and move forward towards that exponential happiness and growth curve. This is the Men of High Value channel. I hope that you take this message, apply it to your life, and find ways to become emotionally independent. That's number one. My name is Joseph Darling, and I'll see you again tomorrow.